welcome everybody to Video Night special episode. We're going to discuss Mad Max Fury Road. I'm your host Michael, and my co-host.
Hey, it's Jacob. How y'all doing, everybody?
So we were kind of holding off on doing this, making sure a lot of people have seen this movie. It's a slow builder, not the way Avengers was, where it was pretty much everybody went that first couple weeks, and then after that, it kind of burned off. Mad Max has been one of those really strong word of mouth movies, and there's a good reason why. I would tell you this right now. I would watch this at least 50 more times. Maybe not in a theater because that's pretty costly, but I would definitely watch this again and again. This is truly one of the most entertaining movies in summers. I don't know how many, a decade of summers?
Oh, definitely. I think it really is. And this movie was put on hold for like what 14 years.
This
It's a
movie,
been it's a long awaited movie.
I never ever thought that I would ever even see a part four because I think we discussed this on a different episode, maybe our summer special episode. Uh, it was announced in 2001 that George Miller was going to do it. Word had is that he was trying to make it up to Warner Brothers for doing Babe 2, and it bombed. It was very expensive, lost tons of money, unlike the first Babe movie. And so he said, do another Mad Max. It didn't happen. I think he did Happy Feet. I mean, that
He
was
did
like,
Happy Feet. He did a lot of movies
is
in
that the
between.
same George Miller? There's two George
Yes,
Millers. Okay.
no, the same George
Yeah,
Miller.
so Happy Feet, and then Mad Max was announced in 2001. He was in pre-production. He was talking about people he had attached. He had Mel Gibson. He was talking about having Heath Ledger attached as the feral boy. Then Heath Ledger dropped out. Then he was talking about Brendan Fair from Roswell. He built sets. Everything was ready to go. And I think that something happened where he couldn't film it. Just as Star Wars was filming, it took all the sound stages in Australia. They tried going to Africa, and then the whole war broke out. And then he tried doing it, I think, like 2 years ago. Everything got up and running again, and they were going to grow. Sorry, I said that backwards. He was going to get filming, and then all of a sudden, it rained a ton in the outback, and grass was growing, which was it's never ever happened. So yet again, the movie got delayed. So I can see why me and other fans are like, ah, this is just a pipe dream. There's no way we're ever going to see Fury Road. And it got delayed a lot. It sat on the shelf. Not sat on the shelf, but it was in long, long, long post-production. So I think this was filmed 2 years ago. Am I wrong?
Yes.
I think I went on a very
No,
long tangent there. I apologize.
yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, that's what I know. It's like, gosh, he also directed and produced Lorenzo's Oil. Yeah, he did Happy Feet 1 and 2, 40,000 Years of Dreaming. Oh my gosh, he even did Witches of Eastwick. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
that
had
was
no
his
idea he
first.
did that one.
That was his first post Mad Max. Now I know that he about 6 years ago he got very close to doing a Justice League movie, and that got shut down as pre-production was going. So man, he must have had a rough decade there with movies bombing left and right, and
Oh, I
movies
know.
like being
But
just killed in pre-production.
I know, but as soon as Fury Road is a huge, huge comeback for him, especially I mean, critically, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean
Like
the funny
critics
thing
have
is, I don't even think he's
mostly
that old.
positive.
I'm not even sure if he's even 60 yet, so he still has a couple of
But
decades of film to
George
go.
Miller,
Yeah.
he's actually 70. He doesn't look it, but he's
He's
70.
70? Wow, I thought he was like 58 or 59. I was wrong
Yeah,
on that one.
no, he's got great genetics.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be setting up a whole new trilogy, or is this just a whole new series? Does he have it planned out?
I'm not sure, but I think there is rumors of another Mad Max. I believe.
Yeah,
I think
if
it's
I
called
recall,
Wasteland.
yeah, the Wasteland. It was announced last week because this one is really starting to build momentum,
Yes,
doing well overseas. You know it's going to kill it on video. Plus, the critic reception to this is insane. 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've never seen a studio movie get that high of a review.
exactly. I know. Plus, and you know what really made me happy about this movie? That it pissed off so many men's rights groups in Australia. I was laughing hysterically.
I don't even know what the problem is. At no point is Mad Max a weakling. Are the men in it truly weakling? Just because they have strong females in it, I don't get the problem.
No, these women, like pretty much, yeah, every other protagonist other than Nicholas Holt and, of course, Tom Hardy as the title character, Mad Max. Yeah, no, these women are pretty much just like the stars themselves. Like Mad Max is, if you look back at the other movies, Mad Max has always become kind of a supporting character, and well, at least in Road Warrior and Thunderdome.
Yeah, okay, so the first one, he is actually not the focus in the beginning. It's Goose. You think Goose is going to be the hero. He's the lively character. He's got tons of dialogue. He's fun to watch. And then it's until he gets into his accident that it switches to Max. And Road Warrior, you could say that he's the main focus of Road Warrior because it rarely ever diverts from him. The third one, the kids come in, Tina Turner comes in, so the focus is shifted a little bit. But this is the one where you actually wait a while before Max really gets cut loose. Now, mind you, if you're listening to this, you probably should have watched the movie first because we're going to go through some serious spoilers.
True, but they've had plenty of time. It's their fault.
Right. The beginning of the movie.
I'm kidding. We love you guys.
The beginning of the movie is one of these real fast, crazy action sequences where Max is trying to escape from his captors and he fails, but it's just one of the most energetic. You can tell that he overcranked the. I don't. Does it? Can you still overcrank video? Because no one shoots on video film anymore, so I'm assuming it's video. But it's kind of sped up to make it look really kinetic, and it's one of the most amazing ways to start a movie. But then I think some people were a little upset because Max is then bound and gagged in a way for a good 40 minutes of the movie.
Pretty much, yeah. There's like he's doing a blood transfusion for Nicholas Hoult because Nicholas Hoult, like, yeah, the warlord culture is just really, yeah, really patriarchal and misogynistic.
Yeah,
it's like the women are only for breeding.
Except for
I guess every once in a while.
Yeah.
No, Furiosa was different. She was kidnapped. She came from like a tribe of females that were pretty much did everything.
Right. And she becomes a focus. Charlize Theron plays Furiosa, who is probably the greatest female hero since maybe Ripley or maybe Sarah Connor. I can't imagine one that had just so much power and so much grace. And at no point was it like, oh, that's the typical female thing in an action movie: guys writing women to be dumb and have to be saved. It never happens. In fact,
yeah.
it should have been called Furiosa. It's so much more about her than Max, but Max is no slouch either.
Oh no! Oh gosh, especially all those driving stunt scenes. Him being like on the top of the car as Nicholas Holt's trying to take out the tanker as they're chasing Furiosa. So the plot of it is Furiosa is trying to get these 5 specific women who are just special. Especially assigned for, oh gosh, I keep forgetting the villain's name, the main villain.
Oh, it's Joe, not Tooth. I keep getting because the guy who plays Joe in this one.
He was Toe Cutter.
Yeah, he was Toe Cutter in the first movie. In fact, for a long time, while I was watching it, because I hadn't seen Mad Max in a while, I was like, wait, are they both named Joe? Is this Toe Cutter, Toe Cutter Joe or whatever?
Immortan Joe, that's his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh Joe. Gosh. Like all the growths and welts on them from all the
what is that about? Why is it some people had all these nasty crap going on them, and then some didn't? Was it nuclear infection or something?
It had to have been some kind of radiation poisoning or something, and I guess
it's pretty disgusting.
He had to be dressed up in all this suit and powdered, so he can look like he's immortal, and he will stay that way.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I just realized that one of his sons, the big old bald husky one, like bodybuilder, his name was Rictus Erectus.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no, the plot is okay. So she's trying to smuggle his wives out because they want to be free. Because I guess through Furiosa, they realize it's like they're not just mere objects; they're people too. Yet they don't get treated like that in that culture.
No, they're
breeders. Of course
they're basically breeders. They're getting pregnant some way. Is Joe getting all of them pregnant?
Yes, he is.
And then they're taking them out to the various cities. Like, there's the main city with all the water and power. They have all the warriors and everything. But then there's, 3 other cities, or maybe 2 other cities that...
Like Gas City and another city along the way. And then there's, of course, enemy territory.
Yeah,
so this wasteland is
selling the women off?
Oh, depending. Or it's just keeping those specific wives for themselves.
Huh.
And of course, when babies are born, there's just mothers who are just pretty much cows just being bred for their milk. It was very dehumanizing. That culture, that whole warlord culture, was dehumanizing to women entirely.
So why
barbaric.
Is it the men were freaking out over this movie then? Because They're mad that it's a feminist movie, but at the same time, it shows the women. I don't get it. They
They're
wanted
idiots. That's why.
do they want the women to be brutalized and treated this way? Because I don't understand. Besides
And
that argument,
they have
yeah.
there's no justification to their argument whatsoever. They're just delusional, patriarchal, misogynistic pricks.
So the
So
one thing
they're
I
not
will,
even men.
every single sequence in this movie, I felt like I had never seen it before. There's so many
No,
things
oh
where I
god.
was just stopped, my jaw was open. I'm going, I don't like the scene where the guys are on the crutches and they're in the mud water or whatever, and they're kind of walking around on, they have the sticks on their hands and feet. They're
Oh
like
yeah.
stilt bird people. It was really amazing, and
It was.
the colors, the compositions are just stunning. Little things like the guy who couldn't see but he played guitar that shot flames, or the fact that
That dude.
the score was basically provided by the guys with the drums in the back of the truck and the guy in the guitar. It's so bizarre.
It was. It was like it was definitely a heavy metal theme. I felt like I was watching, Brutal Legend.
Yeah, I mean
It
it's
was
truly
awesome.
astonishing, and all these years that he had to develop the movie, he really took his time in trying to understand each piece. Every single little detail he put in that movie makes sense. It's like the way James Cameron works. The way that they put together Joe's outfit to make him look immortal, and they gave him that huge airbag in the back. I still don't. That must have been from some sort
That
of toxic
skull
poisoning
faced
too, because
mask.
he must have been sick or something. They had to put that on him.
Yeah, I know. But then I mean, also, just watching this movie, I'm like, okay, I'm expecting someone to die. I'm expecting some major character to die right here and now.
Yeah, that's how
Because I
these
was always,
movies are. These movies
especially
are
after seeing Road
ruthless.
Warrior,
What's that?
like from the very beginning, seeing his wife die, his wife and his kid get killed, and then of course later on taking out all the bikers, and then in the second one, pretty much almost the whole convoy he was with in Road Warrior, trying to transport that gas,
Yeah,
almost everybody got killed.
yeah, nearly every
And
single
then
person.
I know, so I'm like, okay, so I'm expecting, and it turns out, oh my god, the one who was like what 9 months pregnant, as soon as she got hit, I'm just like sitting there in the theater, I'm just like, oh my fucking god, no,
Yeah, you
like it was that,
never
I was
expected
horrified.
her to get hurt because her dress. They had that moment where he gives her a thumbs up and smiles, and she
And
gets
then
caught and then yanked under, and you thought she was toast, and she actually does die, and so does the baby. And I was just like, that is ruthless because
I know, I was
they
like,
killed both of them
damn.
off, and there was like I was like I never expected both to die. That line where he was like, I had a brother and he was perfect in every way.
Yeah, I know. So I guess, yeah, no, he only keeps those 5 women with him because they're, I guess, perfect breeders. Of
Yeah,
course, one of the women was just, really terrified and just like, no, maybe we'll go back. He'll forgive us. It's like, it doesn't matter. No, we're not things. He's just going to lock
yeah,
us up and make us miserable again.
yeah. It's
Like,
it's
gosh,
ridiculous, but it's the fear of the unknown. She didn't know what was beyond the horizon because they're trying to go to the green
exactly.
place. That's their main goal. Is they're trying to escape. They're trying to get to the green place, and then the whole time Max is just like, what the hell is the green place? The funny thing is, before we get to that, Max is actually kind of a shithead.
Yeah,
Once he escapes from his, he's strapped to the front of the vehicle with the blood going back to what was the character's name again?
Nicholas Holt. Here, I think should be right here. Nicholas Holt. He played Nooks. That's the guy.
Nux. Yeah, he's attached to him. And once he escapes, though, he becomes like a vicious monster. Now, here's my problem with the movie. If you're in a
You,
world where the bullets are kind of sparse, how is it, or why is it that he wastes 3 bullets shooting into the ground and then 3 bullets shooting into uh, the ground again later? He wastes 6 bullets just trying to get attention when 1 bullet would have worked, or maybe none. And later in the movie, they're desperate for bullets, and yet they just none of them go. Well, thanks for wasting the bullets, fuckhead. And I thought that was really out of character for a
I
person like
think
him, who was really a tactician who would have saved every bullet.
I think they did. It's just, of course, yes, bullets were scarce for them because they were always rationing them. But yeah, as far as the warning shots, I'm just like, oh, that was kind of stupid. Or maybe they're just trying to make people think that's like, oh yeah, we've got plenty of bullets. We can waste a few for warning shots.
Maybe the one thing,
But
everything in the movie makes sense because somehow like the guitar was probably powered by the engine in the car, and they have the bullets, they have the gasoline. But one thing I didn't understand how it worked was Charlene Theron's hand, her robot hand. How did that work?
that I don't know either. It was pretty bizarre. I'm like just like a normal prosthetic hand, but then again, they're also kind of advanced, just coming up with like new ideas, like somewhat mechanized. But it really didn't really explain her arm. at
I
all.
don't know if it was attached to some nerves, but then she takes it off and it doesn't seem to be attached to anything. It's just a strap. I'm like, well, how does it sense how to move? Because it really does function like what you would think a
No,
robot hand would, but they don't have that kind of technology. So obviously, she's not like a cyborg. It's the one thing that really bothered me because I could never figure out how it worked.
right. Other than that, honestly, like I said, I don't think there's going to be as strong of a female character for like the longest time. I mean, people, I know most media just goes, "Oh, Michelle Rodriguez is so awesome. She's such an awesome female character, and it's such an awesome character in Fast and Furious." I'm like, yeah, well, Charlize Theron just pretty much annihilated her.
Yeah, no kidding. There's no posturing. There's no bullshit, and there's no need to be macho
I know
because
she's.
yeah, she's not
We
showing
should,
off. She just is tough, and she has nothing to prove. She just needs to get these girls to safety.
she wants. I know she and her. Of course, her motivation was redemption,
Right.
considering like all the stuff she did while working for Immortan Joe and the the warlord, the warlords was probably just extremely horrible.
And those
So
warlords,
now,
they are crazy. They're raised from babies basically to be these warriors. They're covered in white paint. They're given all
if they're
these.
strong
They're
enough,
given all these weird they look like not tattoos, but like implants or burns or something that signifies
yeah, some
something.
kind of like skin, yeah, like skin tattooing,
Yeah,
not not skin tattooing, but skin, not grafts.
it's
But
like
yeah,
it's like something under the skin. And then of course there's a weird thing where they spray them in the mouth. Is it is
with the
that is
chrome,
that is that just spray paint? And they're
no,
inhaling
it's
it and they get
chrome.
high. Oh,
It's like it's supposed to spark up their adrenaline before they die off into Valhalla. So there's some Viking influence there.
yeah. And then the whole thing they say is live, die, live again. And this brainwashing that Joe has done to all these boys. They're willing to do anything because they believe they'll come right back. So death means nothing. They'll do the craziest thing, and it's as if a blink of the eye. Oh,
Yeah,
that's nothing. It's good.
I mean with all the skin alterations to look like skeletons and like you know make it creating those like logos and symbol, and also like the steering wheel itself was a symbolic gesture. Like it was worshipped like it was a cross to them.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty much like a holy relic. It got them to control their cars as they're driving. It, like I said, it was fascinating, but just like so horrific to looking at this culture.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the way it is in Africa right now with the warlords that they have there, kidnapping little boys and training them to be soldiers when they're like 6. Like you murder this person, I am a god to you. And they're not even in their teens and they're blowing away people like it was a video game, like it doesn't
Pretty
even
much,
matter.
yeah. And then I think they insert something into their food to put them into this kind of like a controlled kind of state where they
Yeah.
pretty much take every command.
Now, of course, this is more of our spoilers. She gets to the green place, and it's no longer a green place. All of her people are gone, and there is no more. There's no water. There's no plants. There's nothing. It got ravaged by the birds, and it's kind of a meltdown moment for her because this journey has come to a point where there's nowhere else to go. She could keep on driving, but where? Where would they go? And then Max has the
I know
idea: let's go back and conquer this land, take out the bad
exactly.
guys, and they're not even protecting their own land. It was one of the smartest moves. At first, I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Wait, that makes
Exactly.
sense. The only place they know that has water and power, and they can take it over."
Yeah, I know, and they can shut out that canyon by blowing up that last truck, by taking that truck and that rig and commandeering one of their cars.
Yeah, and from moment one, I was convinced the final battle that Charlize Theron was going to die. I was convinced from the second I started the movie. I was pretty much like, well, I can't imagine the series is going to go along with her for the rest of the ride, so they're going to kill her off,
Right.
and that's when Max becomes the main focus. And
But
the movie just keeps like surprising you. You think every old person is going to die, they don't. You think every young person is going to live, they don't. And the
yeah,
ultimate
I know.
sacrifice.
Well, I know a lot of those. A lot of the Charlize Theron's tribe they did die off,
Yeah,
and it was sad to see. But no, not all of them. A lot of them did survive.
and then of course the
But
ultimate sacrifice is made by what was his character? Nux, you said Nux?
yeah, Nux, Nicholas Holt.
Yeah, and he sacrifices himself to save. I don't think that was the initial plan. I think it was a little bit of an accident, but he sacrifices himself to block off the path so they can never get through, but not before Charlize Theron basically takes out Joe in one of the most disgusting but yet triumphant
Yes.
battles. Oh my god. That and his son. His son was like a wall
Ah,
of meat. And he was just
I know.
laying waste to everything in front of him. It was crazy.
Oh, I know. But he did get eventually. He did get taken out. They all did. And I'm pretty sure if they could have just blown up that whole truck too, that would have taken out a bunch of those cars.
Right.
It was pretty. Oh no, just like them using the whole little pulley catapults
Yeah, that's what I was
to
going to
like
ask you.
reach
Yeah,
in
the
and grab
whole.
the wives back. Oh, that was intense.
Yeah.
And most of the actors did the stunts themselves. Tom Hardy was hanging upside down as the car was getting closer to him. Oh, it was pretty. Oh, nuts.
Did they lose some of the women, or did they get any of them back? I know the one girl died that was pregnant, but did they get any other girls back? I was so much action that
Yeah, they did.
okay.
They all of them did come back. They did get Zoe Kravitz. Oh man, but still, I it was no, just seeing his face. I'm like, oh gosh, yes, his like gas mask thing got caught in the wheel, and then bam, his whole face is ripped off. I'm like, yes.
And
I was happy when that happened. I wanted him to die. I
yeah,
hated him.
to sum up the movie, it seems like if you were to describe it to someone, say, oh well, the movie is basically the entire last chunk of Road Warrior. Like, what was the greatest thing in the original trilogy was the final chase sequence in Road Warrior, and you go, yeah, that's pretty much the whole movie. They're like, well, then that, well, it's a whole chase sequence for the whole movie. Well, not really. Yes and no, because they do stop. There's so much character that is dropped while they're even chasing them, and of course, there's a few stops along the way. But this movie is
Right
not lacking in character. It's not lacking in proper dialogue and stuff like that. It really builds this world,
or action.
but at the same time, they do it while they're. It's like the way Joss Whedon does it. He has a way of building action and character at the same time.
Exactly. I was just about to mention that. Just
Words
like with
through
Serenity
actions.
and Firefly. Exactly. That's. I mean, plus I thought, but it was a shame to see Mad Max's car get demolished.
I kept waiting for it to show up, like him to take the car over, and it surprised me that nothing in this movie happened the way I thought it was going to happen, except for the
Exactly.
fact that they are incredible shots. I thought it was ridiculous, like one bullet, one man. Literally, like as they're opening fire, just one killed, one killed, one killed. It's hard for me to imagine this high chase sequence that they're that good of a shot.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, Mad Max, him being a police officer and
And
having all that training,
still,
I mean,
good God, that
surprising.
was crazy.
Yeah, it was. Oh, and oh gosh, I think there was one scene, or like some of the villains they had too, that really obese. I think looked like he had mumps or
Oh, that was
something.
gross. His
That guy.
feet were enormous. That was barf-tastic.
I know. I kid you not. It's like he could crush someone's skull with those feet. They're that heavy. And then of course there was the one guy. I think the one who was riding on through the night, trying to kill them, and then Max, I guess, because he eventually lost his sight because I think it was sniper fire took out his eyesight, and then Max just comes gets a machete, sneaks up on them as they come up, kills them all. Doesn't even have, and the blood on his head was not even his own.
Yeah,
And then he just
they don't
watches.
even show you. He was really mysterious in that part because the movie's very explicit and graphic in what it's trying to show you. There's not a lot, actually, not a lot of gore, but
No,
every
I was
action you
surprised
see
too.
it. But that's the one action sequence where it's kind of a mystery. It's like, oh, he just goes off in the clouds, you hear some stuff, and comes right back.
I know, like that just shows how badass Mad Max is. So I don't know what those men's rights groups are bitching about, but they have
Yeah,
nothing
it's
to bitch
ridiculous
for.
nonsense. Well,
Anyway,
they'll have a part
I like
two.
how
Yeah,
I like how he washes himself off with the mother's milk, and
yeah.
he's just like he like pauses for a second, just washes it anyway.
So yeah, it's one of those movies that's really well thought out. Most of the things line up. Of course, we have a couple of discrepancies like we couldn't figure out, but the acting is amazing. That every sequence you watch is something you've never seen before, and it's so well shot. Everything is so coherent, which is
I
really
know it.
rare in action movies these days, where the camera isn't shaking all over the place or something's going on. Yes, there are some 3D digital stuff going on, a few things here and there,
Very
but
rarely.
yeah, it's very focused on trying to give you old school awesome.
I know there was like very little to no green screen.
Right.
Like it all just like landscape, principal shooting. Like I said, it was done the old-fashioned way. It's quite fantastic. It is. It's a visual marvel, and it was definitely worth the wait.
All right, everybody. So we totally recommend this one. It's been a pretty decent summer so far. We've done three movies in a row now that have been pretty killer. Uh,
Exactly.
Honestly, though, I have to say the rest of the summer I'm not too excited about. I might go see Jurassic World. And that's probably about it.
That too.
Unless Ant Man does really really well with critics, I'm probably gonna skip that one.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna skip that one too. But I am excited for Fantastic Four. That I will see.
Yeah, I
And
forgot about that one.
Michael B. Jordan did release a statement really about a whole like diverse racial like cast, not going by comic book traditions, considering the whole backlash he's getting just because he's playing Human Torch and Human Torch was never black in the comic book.
Yeah, it's the
Like
same thing with
whatever.
Mad Max. Oh, women aren't supposed to be that strong. That's the problem with movies these days. Is the fanboys or the misogynists or close-minded people is what I should say. Close-minded people are really starting to stifle filmmaking, actually entertainment in any way. They don't want to explore new avenues, and that's what's bugging the crap out of me.
I know. I mean, it's like just that, things are supposed to be getting better. It's like, oh, hey, look what they're doing now, and it's like, oh, they're kind of going backwards.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
why I can't. That's really why I can't stand fanboys. Although, what I'm also really looking forward to this year is Star Wars.
Oh, of
That I
course.
can't wait for
But we
either.
had to wait 6 months for that one. So for now, this is the end of it for Video Night, Mad Max Fury Road episode. Check us out next time. I don't know what we'll do next, but I think we have a robot episode I'm doing with Andrew this week. So this is just kind of filler until we get to the meat. All right,
Okay,
everybody.
I
Have a
do
good
also
night.
want to say one more thing.
Wait.
Sorry. My oldest brother, I kid you not, is like a tough critic. He is a really tough critic, great critical thinker. He saw Mad Max twice in theaters. He loved it that much.
Nice.
He's like, I kid you not, he will find everything wrong with the movie and exploit it. But with Mad Max, he saw it twice. That's very rare for him.
Well, if
But
that's
I
not
mean,
approval, I don't know what is.
right.
All right,
Okay.
so
Yeah. No.
everybody,
I would.
have a good night.
Oh, sorry. Good night, everybody. Cheers, if you're waitress. Namaste and good luck.